Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm doing another video. I'm stuck in traffic in downtown LA. I went to go buy some of these garage door openers. My car got broken into last night, and they didn't steal anything except for the garage door opener. And I have one of those computers that you plug into your OBD reader in your car. I have one of those. They didn't steal that. I've got this old digital camera, probably worth like 20 or 30 bucks. They didn't take that. Just some random things that were worth a few dollars. They didn't take it. So they were obviously looking for the clicker, because there's people that live in the other apartments. There's 10 people that live in one apartment. You're only allowed one or two clickers per apartment. So I'm pretty sure it was one of the college kids, and they were drunk and went through my car. They didn't go through my trunk. I had a bunch of it. I have a brand new Toomey bag in my trunk. They didn't go through my trunk. I have a bunch of stuff. Yeah, they didn't take it. They took the clicker. But anyway, so I had to drive to Beverly Hills and pick up these brand new clickers. And I got to program them. Anyways, this story is about shoes. And so the reason I'm going to do this about shoes is because I have feet problems, and it's due to sports, playing a lot of sports, skateboarding, jumping off stairs. But it's also due to being homeless and walking around for days and months with crappy shoes, and then going to prison and county jail. And for very long, 5 years, the shoes they give you, a lot of times they already have holes in them. So I would always sign up for rec. I'd always sign up to go to the gym. There was always a rec court. I'd go out and I'd play handball. I'd play basketball. And I would say 9 times out of 10, the shoes always either had a hole. And if they didn't have a hole, it was very thin rubber. And I'm jumping, you know what I mean? I'm playing aggressively because I want to win. And it's really put damage on the bottom of my feet. So, yeah. So I told you guys about my story in Boston, where I had left Maine. They had violated my probation 2 weeks after being released from prison. I hadn't even met my probation officer yet. He violates me. And so I'm so scared of going back to prison that I just leave Maine and I go to start a new life in Boston. And it ended up not working out. But while I was in Boston, they had this place. It's called the Pine Tree Inn. I was on Google, and I'm trying to find, because I had been up for so many days, and I was getting delusional. And I knew, I'm if I can just crash out at some shelter, at least for just a couple days, to catch up on sleep, I knew I could maybe get a, because that was my goal, get a job. And I was pretty sober at the time, so I wasn't really using. I was using a little bit, but I didn't really have a habit. And I was trying to get a job. I was actually trying to better my life. So I'm trying to find a place where I can just crash out for a couple days, catch up on sleep, because I'm exhausted. I'm in Boston. I don't know one person. I've met a few people, but they're trying to see what they can get out of me. And I don't have anybody that I can trust. The people that I am hanging out with, it's I don't really know them like that. And so it's just a very uncomfortable, scary situation. Very, very scary. Even though I'm street smart and, even though I am street smart and, darn it. Oh, no. Oh, wait, there it is. Hold on, guys. Sorry. I'm in downtown LA, and I have GPS on my other phone. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here. Hold on. So even though I'm street smart and been in really rough situations, being out there in the streets of Boston is scary, man. It's, you got serial killers, you got gang members, like I had just gotten out, you know what I mean? I was pretty jacked and strong, but that doesn't mean a lot when people are going to gang up on you. So I find a place. It's called the Pine Tree Inn. Sounds like a nice place, Pine Tree Inn. Sounds like a nice fancy hotel. But it's actually like this rundown shelter. Reminded me a lot of jail. Like when you go in, it's like, it's got that jail smell. It's got that jail vibe. It's got the workers are kind of like,
this light. Then at the next one, turn left.
The workers are kind of just like security guards. It really feels like jail. Oh, because you're not allowed to leave. Like the rule is with the shelter is they'll let you stay, but you have to abide by their rules. You have to take a shower, and then they give you these scrubs, which is they give you a jail uniform. Everybody has to change into these jail uniforms, and then you go to these like areas that's locked down. You're not, I mean, like if you want to forcefully leave, like yeah, you can go downstairs and sign yourself out, but it's a process. You can't just walk outside. Because there's so many people in Boston, there's so many homeless people. If it was a smaller shelter, yeah, they could allow it. But since it's such a big shelter, you can't have 300 people, 500 people walking outside and coming back in. It would be total chaos.
At the light, turn left onto Georgia Street, then continue towards CA 110 North.
So, yeah, so you gotta control the homeless people, and you have to. You have to keep some ordinance, and everybody's got to abide by these rules if they want to stay at the shelter. And so I signed this form, and they give me this Pine Tree Inn ID. It's like a little jail ID. It's got my picture on it. I gave them a fake name. It said Daniel on it. And so everybody there, it's like being in jail. If you guys ever been to jail or prison, it's like, I'm the new guy. Everybody else, they've been there for a while. Everybody knows each other. The homeless people all know each other. I'm in there. I'm brand new. I don't know the rules. I don't know where the bathrooms are at. I don't know what time dinner is. I don't know how the line works. Are you allowed to go up for seconds? How many apples can you? I don't know. And so people are looking at me like I'm the new guy, and so it's shower time, right? And I'm in this area, and everybody's changing and taking a shower, and there's these lockers, so everybody takes off their clothes and puts their clothes in a locker, and then they lock it. But I don't know where they get the locks. Everybody's got a lock. I don't know where you get a lock. And there's so many people, I can't just go and ask a staff member, because the staff members, half of them, they don't even know what's going on. So anyways, I didn't have a lock. So I take my clothes off, I put it in a locker, and I'm not worried about leaving my stuff here. None of my stuff is worth anything. You could steal my shirt. Nobody wants to touch my dirty shirt. So I didn't mind just leaving my stuff there. So hold on. So I take a shower, and then after the shower, hold on, sorry guys. After the shower, I go to they got beds, and pretty peaceful in the sleeping area, because I think all the homeless people, they're just so exhausted. Everybody just wants to relax and sleep. So once I got to the sleeping area, it was pretty chill. Everybody was quiet. You get the normal stressed out feeling. Everybody looks like they're strung out, and everybody looks depressed, and
continue towards CA 110 North.
You see people on their phone, and they're obviously selling drugs or trying to buy drugs, or they got some sort of drug deal going on, obviously. And so you see a lot of that. And so I got my phone, and luckily there was an outlet next to me. I was able to charge my phone, and that was one of the things I was worried about, because my phone, it charged so slow. I had this charger that wasn't made for my phone, and whenever I charged it, it just took hours to charge. But luckily there was an outlet right next to my bed, and outlets were like placed in certain areas on Pine Tree Inn, so I was lucky enough to have an outlet right next to my bed. So I'm just on there. I'm taking pictures. Actually, for the thumbnail for this, I have a picture. It's me in my green uniform that they gave me at the Pine Tree, and I'm gonna use it for the thumbnail. Yeah, so I'm there, and like I said, it's peaceful, and I know I'm gonna get some sleep because this is the first time I've had a bed in a few days. Plus, I'm used to being in prison having a next to nothing mattress. So this is probably about 5 times the thickness of a prison mattress. So I knew I was gonna get good sleep, and I did. I slept. I woke up. I felt really good. I felt like I was rested, and I'm just ready to attack the day. I'm fully content with trying to get my life back together, putting drugs behind me, never going back to prison, being honest. Like, these are the things that were really building up inside of me. I wanted to be a better person. When I was in Boston, even though I was broke and I had no money, stealing gave me such a bad taste in my mouth that I wouldn't even consider stealing, no matter what. Stealing was like, I will not do it. If I'm going to get something, I will use my mouth, and I will use my charm, whatever charm I have. I will, make friends with somebody and see if they can help me rather than ever have to steal something from somebody. That was, and I thought it was better to charm people to try to get something. Not charming in a evil intent, but more charming, being friendly, trying to make friends, trying to get stuff. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have any bad intentions. Just kind of just be friendly with people, and maybe they can help me out. That was my way of that was my new way of how I was going to get things. And I had gotten things like that before, like panhandling. You know what I mean? Being like the aggressive, friendly panhandler. Like, people would give me money. And so that's where I was in my mental state. I was so afraid of stealing, because stealing is what had got me to prison in the first place.
Then keep left to merge onto Harbor Freeway.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. So, like I said, you had to put your stuff in the locker. So then the next morning comes, and everybody goes down, and everybody is, oh my gosh. This guy's annoying me. All right. So in the morning, everybody goes to the floor below to get their stuff and to change into their regular clothes. So I get my clothes, I put my clothes on, and I find my shoes, but I only find one shoe. And I'm like, where's my other shoe? And I'm looking around, I can't find my shoe. And so I'm stuck. I got one shoe. Oh, and my feet hurt. Like, walking on my feet is already it already hurts with shoes. So without shoes, it even hurts a lot more. So sorry guys, LA traffic is crazy. So I don't have any shoes. So I go and I ask a staff member, I say, hey, is there a pair of shoes I can have? I said, I can't find my shoe. I said, maybe somebody stole it. I don't know, but I don't have my other shoe. And they said, yeah, go down to this office, and here's a piece of paper, and tell them that I sent you, and maybe they'll give you a pair of shoes. I said, okay. So I go down, I go to this office, and
use the left lane to keep left to merge onto Harbor Freeway. Then keep left to merge onto Harbor Freeway.
This shelter, it's like they're so bombarded with homeless people that I'm just another fish in the pond asking for something. Even though it's my first time and I don't ask for anything and I'm just asking for shoes, everybody there is asking for something. So me asking for shoes is just another person trying to get something, and they're not having it. They're like, no, we don't have any shoes. Go to this shelter. They've got they have a clothing drive, and they give away clothes to homeless people. You can get a pair of shoes from them. I'm like, all right. I start talking to some other homeless people. I'm like, hey, does anybody have a pair of shoes? I don't care if they're too big, too small. I need to wear something on my feet. and nobody would help me. And so people said, go to this place. I forget what it was called. They're like, go here, maybe they'll give you some shoes. So I walk, what was it, like 5 or 6 blocks on these rough paved streets, and like not even paved, it's like rocky pavement, old streets of Boston. And so I walk probably about 6 blocks, and I get to this place, and I go upstairs, and they got this clothing drive, but you got to get a number, and then you got to wait for your number to be called, and then like once they call your number, hopefully you can get whatever it is that you need. So I get my number, I go up, I'm like, hey, I need shoes. I was at the shelter, Pine Tree Inn, and told them my story, and they're like, nah, we don't really have many shoes. I don't think we have any. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I was like, do you have anything? And so they make me sit there probably for about 2 hours, and then after 2 hours they come out with these size.
Turn right onto West 4th Street, then turn left.
Oh my gosh, I might be going there. I think I'm going the wrong way, guys. Oh well, I'm just doing a video. I'm gonna show you guys what LA traffic looks like right now while I'm doing the video. See how it's just stuck. And look what time it is. Or no, 6:05. Is it 6:05? I think it's like 5. Yeah, do not ever drive in LA traffic. You always want to drive like after traffic or before traffic. But I needed these clickers. So they come out with these size 14 dress shoes, these leather dress shoes. And I'm thankful, right? Like I'm thankful that I at least I'll be able to
use the left 3 lanes to keep left onto CA 110 North toward I-5 North.
At least I will have a pair of shoes, like I was just happy to be out of there and just be on my way so I can, do whatever it is that I'm going to do. So I got these shoes, and after about 2 hours of wearing these shoes, man, these things are really hurting my feet. Like I end up taking them off. It's almost better to be barefoot than to wear these shoes. Like, I mean, we're talking like these are leather dress shoes, so the padding is just like this much leather. There is no padding in them. It's just literally like a strip of leather underneath your sole. And for somebody like me with feet problems, it's not helping. So I think in the video I told you how I met up with this guy, and he had just gotten out of federal prison. Oh yeah, the guy who I met, and he ended up stabbing somebody in broad daylight. That was the guy. I ended up hanging out with him, and we ended up smoking crack at one of his buddy's house. And while we were at his buddy's house, they were smoking crack, but they were also selling crack at the same time. And all these dudes were all wearing nice Nikes. And I remember just like salivating, being like, oh, those are such nice shoes. Oh my gosh, your feet must feel so comfortable. And the shoes were on the ground. There's a bunch of Nike shoes. And I said, dude, I said, hey, is anybody wearing those shoes? I said, look, I lost my shoes, and they gave me these at the shelter. I said, they're size 14. And the guy's like, oh, yeah. He's like, what size are you? Well, yeah, what size? And I'm like, oh, I'm a 10.5. He's like, yeah, yo, these are 10.5. You want these? And I'm just like, oh, and they were Air Maxes, the Super Air Max, whatever it is. It got all the air bubbles. Oh, man, these things, they felt so good going from these oversized dress shoes into these
7.5 miles. Take exit 31B onto Fairfax Avenue.
They weren't brand new Air Maxes, but they were like new. And I remember wearing them for like the next 5 days and just demolishing these shoes. Like when I got them, they were like almost new, and then after 5 days they were just so worn out. It looked like they'd been used for a couple years. That was the amount of walking and on my feet that I was there in Boston, man. So FYI, here's a little tip. If you see homeless people, that is one thing you can give homeless people. They will accept it. They will be so glad. They need shoes, walking shoes, running shoes, to be precise. You know, some homeless people, they'll ride a bike. I did ride a bike until either somebody stole it or until I had to sell it. You know, some homeless people are good. Like, you see them and they're always on a bike, or they're on a scooter or something. Like, some homeless people are just a little bit more organized than others, but I was not one of those people. I was one of those that was always on my feet. But I was also a hustler. Like, I always had drugs. A lot of people were like sick and, you know, like trying to get drugs. Like, even though I was sick a lot, like, I would say that compared to me and the other drug addicts, I was what's the word? I was living large compared to most drug addicts. I was always, because I was friendly, and so I would make friends with the connects. And so I always had a lot of connects. And so whenever somebody needed something, and believe me, people always needed something. There was always, because living in Portland, Maine, people come from all over Maine. Like, they'll be up in like Machias, or they'll be in Mexico, Maine. Like, up there, if you want to get high, there's no drugs around. So what they do up there, they're out in the middle of nowhere. They say, hey, we got money. Let's go to Portland. I know we can get stuff in Portland. I know people there, you know, we can, and it's true. If you're from one of those, you know, cities out in the middle of nowhere, yes, you can go to Portland and score, but you got to be careful too, because there's a million people just waiting for somebody to come down looking for something. They're just waiting to just take somebody's money. You got to do it right. If you're going to come down and you're going to try to score in an area that you're not familiar with, you got to be slick about it. For one, kind of prepare to lose like $20. Don't hand over some money and let somebody walk into a building, because they're just going to go out the exit. What you want to do is figure out where the shelter's at, kind of hang around the shelter, and usually you'll be approached by somebody. And then, like me, what I would do is I would look for like the super relaxed looking people, like, you know what I mean, like the people who just looked kind of mellow, because I'm like, if they look too mellow, chances are they're doing dope, and that's why they look mellow. And I always succeeded with that, like looking for mellow people. There were other tricks that I did to score. What was the other thing that I would do? But yeah, figure out where the needle exchange is at, because if you go to the needle exchange, the good thing about the needle exchange is people don't go to the needle exchange if they don't have no drugs. So if you hang out in front of the needle exchange, most likely that person just picked up and scored. So that's a good place. But yeah, so that's my story about the shoes.